spiritual wife. It is October the 30th, 2020. My spiritual thought today. Hold on. An undercover police car looks like. I don't know. Or no, this actually has the word police on it. Remember, I was crossing this area before? They just pulled in a Burger King. I'm about 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, about 2 minutes from Burger King. It's October the 30th, 2020. Tomorrow's the blue moon. So my spiritual thoughts today is in reference to being among unclean, unnatural spirits, unclean, unnatural abominations. So when you think of the word, I'm thinking about the word abomination, those that have been written out the book of life. So when I say, we heard spiritual books speak about abomination freaks all the time. It's truly amazing how these abominations that have been written out the book of life try to create a reality where their presence is a normality. But you know, their presence is not a normality if they have to rape, molest, stalk, murder, and commit other crimes of harm to a citizen whom they don't know. The only way they know them is by stalking the room if they have the telepathic code to read thoughts and piggyback on thoughts. But otherwise, they don't know her or him, or to look in the past so they can figure out a way to engage in slavery. So you know, we are among some real filthy abominations. And not only that, they're diseased. Disease, filth. Disease, filth, whether it's from, and I'm not saying those that are diseased are filthy, because sometimes when you don't know how to heal yourself and cleanse your blood, that's one thing. But when you are among a filth abomination that have been written out the book of life, all right? And you know they filthy and unclean in spirit. And not only that, they normalize having a sexual transmitted disease, whether it's gonorrhea, chlamydia, herpes, syphilis, HIV, AIDS, the coronavirus, because they said they found the virus in the semen of some men. Then you know this is, and they normalizing it as though this is what the population should be getting used to. You know that's an abomination. So this is going against those divine laws, those natural laws of freedom. Natural. To be naturalized. Natural laws of freedom. So one of the things I say, because I was trying to connect the dots with some of these unclean spirits that speak Spanish, whom I've given so many testimonies. Like, I don't know why those that speak Spanish, whether they from Mexico, El Salvador, South America, the continent of South America, why are they trying to force engage or speak in werewolf around American extended stay? I have not, Imani Gray and I, we have never implied that we want to be immersed in their community. But when you are among abomination, laboratory freaks, whether the government is using them to control technology with their minds, robots, humanoid robots, or whether they have that strand of telepathic code that's mixed with a dog, an ape, a bird, some form of beast that's in the street, in the field, then that's why, because they're abominations. So, and one of the things I realized going back to the day, I noticed the Spanish speaking with that accent these are unclean spirituality, by the way, in reference to my spiritual lesson. Spirituality, spiritual lesson. They the first to start yelling how they paid more, how they paid, or you were paid. I don't even speak Spanish fluently. We speak very little, as they would say, poquito. Now, when I say Spanish speaking, I know the Spaniards colonized and enslaved the people of that landmass years ago. So they speak Spanish because of that, not because they're Spanish. So I'm like, why are these unclean spirits around our room saying I love you with a Spanish accent? We pay military. Sometimes I hear them say Burger King. I'm not just focused on the Spanish speaking accent right now. Why? But when you're among abominations, okay, that means they know that they are beneath you as a natural divine being. They are unclean, demonic, and filthy in spirit. This is why. So they're trying to latch on. They want to spiritually possess or send sharp pains, or the government is using them to send sharp pains. The government, their government, that illegal, unlawful government that exists, is using them to cause mental illnesses. Like, for instance, oh, by the way, I just thought of something. Just a few days ago, Christina, she's a Spanish-speaking lady that works at Burger King, and this is not in correlation to her, but I just thought, I came into work early in the morning, and she came to me. She works with me, and she had some pants for me. Pants. I said, Christina, what are these? She said, I brought these for you. I said, Christina, you shouldn't have brought these pants for me. She's Spanish speaking. I think she's from Mexico or Puerto Rico. I'm not sure. I never asked her, but she speaks Spanish. And she said, I brought these for you. I said, Christina, save your money. I never implied or told her I needed pants. So why? I'm like, don't buy me pants. You can save that. You know, and I told her, so are you making at least 150? I say 100,000 a year. 150 a year. If you're making 100,000 a year, possibly I might accept some pants from you. But you know, Burger King, we don't make a lot of money. You need to save your money. Don't buy something for me without asking. And so I just thought about that. So in that, I had a thought. Now this, once again, this is not in reference to her. And so I remember, because Hamima was there as well. Hamima is another Spanish. She's definitely from Mexico. I remember asking her, and she was like, I don't have money. I said, okay. I was like, yeah, because I was like, we as employees, coworkers, we don't make a lot of money. So Dwayne Bey, understanding what money is and what's wealth, then I can see how giving a understanding by following you and listening to Moors who are wealthy, who can buy pants for someone, not just buy me a pair of pants, but probably a city a pair of pants from the dollar store. That's one thing. But I don't think that type of wealth is really here in Annapolis. You have some that drive, like, for instance, you see this little BMW that anybody can buy now? So you have a lot of those around here that drive in BMWs and and other little fancy cars. But the wealth that I'm pretty sure that many more speak about in reference to, it might exist, but they are definitely connected or with someone else. They're in their own state of mind, in their own circle, I'm assuming. because and I would think they have a different state of mind. I'm assuming, but I could be wrong. No, I take it back. That's contradicting spiritual possession, because they can still be spiritually possessed and be wealthy, or I should say be rich. That makes them rich, not wealthy. Because if they spiritually possessed, and they're rich, not wealthy. So anyway, so I was telling you the way Arrington-Bey had these Spanish speaking when I'm out. These are unclean spirits, or when I'm in the room. I can tell they'll start talking. I would feel I will experience a forced emotion that makes like emotion that makes you feel like good, or like they trying to take care of you. Or if somebody is talking about brother, and I might feel a sharp pain, somebody would be outside screaming stop with a Spanish accent, like they trying to take care of somebody. All right. Now, when you're trying to spiritually possess, because for whatever reason you might need a green card, somebody else in your family need a green card, you're a cannibal, okay? Werewolf, you hear them say werewolf, they're cannibals. That means they're trying to cannibalize, and they don't want, and they're using, and you might hear them even say Jesus, because you know a lot of them are followers, so-called followers of Catholicism, but using a religion to hide what they're trying to do, spiritually possessed, and what they are used to do, because they're being used as a terrorist. So I'm like, in my thought process, I'm like, why are these Spanish speaking, wherever they may be from, trying to engage these unclean spirits? Well, they have their own culture. I've never been to Guatemala, never been to Mexico, never been to South America in this lifetime, and nor have implied that I want to get to know any of them. Puerto Rico, nor have I implied on a personal level. Just, in life you just see them and keep things in a friendly way, But up here, I'm not, spiritually, I see the forced mental engagements, and the question is why? Why? But when you're dealing with spiritual possession, your spiritual possession and unnaturalization or denaturalization, being among spirits who are not in a constitutional fold, who have not taken an oath or affirmed to uphold the U.S.A. Constitution of 1787, the 13th Amendment, 20 sections, and all 4 of Abraham Lincoln's proclamations. And not only that, being among military that possibly is unnaturalized as well, that can use them to stalk, to try to instill fear, to send sharp pains, spread illnesses, then that's why. And in that, because then that means the military is being used as a slave and a terrorist, but by whom? Then you have the corrupt banks who do not see citizens as life. They just see citizens as property. So if the military haven't been naturalized, and a bank wants to use them because for whatever reason, they're going to be used. And that's the reason why one of the reasons why Abraham Lincoln put a check on the military. He put a check on the military for reasons such as this: abusing the science of telepathy. So I was like, so Dwayne, Arrington-Bey, so how can someone who speaks Spanish sit around a room saying I love you, and sometimes they even say I F-U-C-K-you. Now, I'm giving you testimony of my dreams being invaded. So if they're running around saying they're invading people's dreams, trying to give them a hard on, or give them to rate them, and then they're saying I F-U-C-K-you and saying I love you, why would they do such a thing to someone who has nothing to do with them? That's because they're being used as a terrorist cell. A terrorist cell, an act of terrorism to subjugate, to instill fear. And they are outside of constitutional law. They're laboratory freaks, abominations. As I said before, I'm starting off with the word abomination. Now I'm going to go with the black Negro. That's a filth beyond my thoughts. That filthy black Negro female dog, these are unclean spirits I'm speaking of, and male, they are a lowlife, disease, filth beyond creation. So these are unclean spirits I'm talking about. These are abominations. I've heard them sit around, or just unclean spirits in my spiritual journey, saying brother, and all of a sudden simultaneously my genitals are being attacked spiritually, like that which speaks Spanish. 33. I'm experiencing sharp pains. Now, how many times do we see black Negro, male and females, on the news talking about we shall overcome, or the health crisis in the black community? But yet, spiritually, on a mental plane, I know that we are among abominations, humanoid robots, or laboratory experiments that their government used to slave breed. Not only that, but cause sharp pains, which encourage low health, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And yet you see so many black Negroes, male and female, saying Black Lives Matter, and speak about how the health crisis in the community, their community, black community, is so low. They are the most despicable, low-life filth I have ever met in my life. They are a disgrace. These are unclean spirits. And then maybe see them marching. I'm not saying those that march all the time, or those that are on TV all the time are doing this, but it's amazing when you're dealing with spirit and you can have the eyes to see them marching, crying, saying we shall overcome. They are filth. And so, but at first, emotionally, I get upset, but then I realize when you're dealing with abominations who have been written out the book of life, they have been written out the book of life. Not only them, but they filthy, disease, abomination seeds, then it makes sense. That's how they can sit on TV and act everything out. That's how they can sit around someone's room saying, military, we paid, brother, I love your son, trying to rape, molest, sending sharp pains. These are unclean spirits I speak of. We paid. Those Moors were paid. The number 33, because they low life, they filthy, they're abominations. They already been written out the book of life. They have no chance to return. So the next thing I want to speak about is the pale skin, because you know, Dwayne Arrington-Bey, in reference to the unclean spirits and being among this matrix, the first thing melanated filth want to try to do is paint that pale skin as some form of devil. That white man is the devil. It's the Mexican. The Mexican saying it's the Mexican might look like, try to uphold themselves, or the Spanish speaking, and go back and forth as though they're trying to say it's not us, or just in a thought process, I would say, in the universe. Because when you're dealing with telepathy, okay, which is not hard to prove when you recognize it exists, but it's hard to prove when you haven't read about telepathy, when you don't have anyone speaking about telepathy, and someone just come out the blue and say, telepathy exists. Then people are like, okay, she's crazy. Let's try to diagnose them with schizophrenia to keep them from not speaking the truth about what they're doing truthfully. And why they doing it in reference to slave breeding filth, disease, abomination spirits, literally diseased, that have been written out the book of life. So the pale skin would sit around these unclean spirits and start saying 3 and 33. And then yet try to keep, these are unclean spirits I speak of, and yet try to demonstrate themselves as having some form of civilization. I noticed it's amazing when I start reading about the Constitution, Arrington-Bey, if I'm out in the public, some of them will just deliberately look my way as though there's some representation of the Constitution. 9 times out of 10, they have not taken an oath, they have not affirmed to uphold these laws of freedom. These are spirits I'm talking about. So, and each spirit, each body has a spirit. So, because white American is not a spirit. Pale skin it's not a nationality. Pale skin is not a nationality. African, Negro, Black is not a nationality. And you have to have a nationality in order to be naturalized. Hispanic is not a nationality. So it is truly amazing to see these unclean spirits who are definitely mixed with some form of that strand of DNA, pale skin, with dog, ape, you don't know what they put in it, try to look my way as though they're demonstrating or representing a form of civilized behavior when I'm reading the Constitution, when 9 times out of 10, especially, they have not went through the process of naturalization, nor do they uphold or try to encourage naturalization. Because the Constitution demonstrates freedom. And how can you demonstrate freedom and yet go around saying we paid? It is truly amazing to see these savages act and play out this matrix. And so it's easy to be emotionally upset, Arrington-Bey, but I'm not, because I realize I'm among abominations who have been written out the book of life. And so in reference to this holy day, that's one of my thought process. When you know you're among abominations, these are unclean demonic spirits. If you're not an abomination, you're not demonstrating these characteristics I speak about, then I'm not talking about you. But usually those that start yelling racist, that's one of the abominations. They start saying I love you, saying Jesus as I'm experiencing sharp pains, brother. Those are one of the abominations. They've been written out the book of life, so all their government can do is use them because they already know they're animals, they're beasts, until they kill them off, because they're abominations, until they kill them off. Keep them quarantined, keep the abominations quarantined, Islam quarantined, until they kill them off. Keep them in that jurisdiction until they kill them off. So this is also demonstrating another form of jurisdiction, because if you've been written out the book of life, then that separates you from those who have not been written out the book of life. And so this encouraged me to maintain my divinity as much as possible, because I'm not perfect. Islam, I'm not perfect. So it's easy when you're being when you're experiencing different forms of acts of spiritual and mental terrorism, to represent yourself as being high and mighty. But I think the challenge is, for me, at this point, is to be just. And really try to speak truth as much as possible. Because, and not just me, but other Moorish Americans who are clean, divine, celestial beings, Islam, that means we are clean in spirit. The Holy Quran Circle 7 speaks of our nation, speak of us being clean and divine. To try to be just with wisdom and give testimony with wisdom. Let me also connect cannibalism. So when you're dealing with unclean abominations, you're also dealing with cannibalism. All right? You wouldn't think they're cannibals, but they are, because you say that is so cavemanish. No, it's not. It's not cavemanish. If you're dealing with an animal, a beast, a laboratory experiment. You have black Negro, male, females that are humanoid robots. These are unclean spirits, Spanish speaking. They have the telepathic strand that is mixed with a beast, a dog, an ape, a lower form of the telepathic strand. Pale skin. A lot of times growing up, when you thought of cannibals, you think of Jeffrey Dahmer and other cannibals that they publicize on TV. You think of pale skins, but you don't think of the melanated men and women being cannibals. But it's been documented in history that melanated men and women have been cannibals as well. So when you're dealing with the pale skin, who also has the strand of DNA, not DNA, but telepathic code, that's mixed with a beast, an animal, yes, they will behave as such. That's why sometimes not all that be walking their dogs, but too many be super lovey-dovey with their dogs, because they the same. And the black Negro, they the same. And so a dog will eat flesh. Well, a dog will eat another dog. Okay, that's a cannibal. A lion will eat another lion. It's meat. That's a cannibal. So I'm speaking of spiritual and mental cannibalism and physical cannibalism. Islam. It's that real and it's that truth. And so this is in connection to abominations, being among abomination freaks, unclean spirits that have been written out the book of life. Islam. So I'm going to say a prayer, Islam, right now. That I say a lot of times. I say Allah as a natural divine being implementing natural divine laws. The U.S.A. Constitution of 1787, the 13th Amendment with 20 sections, and all four of Abraham Lincoln's proclamations. I command a natural, because I'm a natural, as I'm saying this, my ankle is hurting, all right? Because a lot of times this happens, especially when black Negroes are around, Spanish speaking, or these are unclean spirits, or pale skin, and they're yelling 333, I love you. I command a natural divine prayer, because I'm not an animal. We don't have the telepathic code, and as far as I know, just the fact that I'm in that thought process of freedom lets me know I have not been written out the book of life. But I'm going to maintain that divinity. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Another prayer I do, I meant to bring this up as well. And once again, when I brought about Christina, that works with me, who speaks Spanish, trying to give me pants, I was this is just a few days ago. I was so surprised. I was like, why is she doing this? I have never even had a conversation with Christina or anything like that. And I mean, I don't know how much she made, but she's a cook at Burger King. And I was like, you could definitely spend that money. I was thinking, you could send it overseas to your family. You're a cook at Burger King. We never talk. And you're gonna, that was pale skin. It's not like she said racist, and maybe she had the Navy shirt on. I'm not sure. Navy shirt. I hear that a lot when the Navy is around and the Army around Islam. And so, like, why? Once again, it makes me think of unnatural military, because I'm talking about something, a group of people that they possibly are using. Okay, they're using as terrorists. They got to take care of their terrorists, because and not make it known what's truly going on, so they can keep the frequency low on the earth and the universe. So anyway, Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my God, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Ameen. So another thing, is so when you trying to protect you're trying to hide the truth, and you want to keep the terrorists, a slave, an animal, doing what they need to do to keep the frequency low, to keep that spirit of freedom from circulating amongst the people, all right, and citizens. And not only that, the earth and the universe, You start thinking of different ways to hide the truth, all right? Because you're implementing bondage. You're outside of natural law, which that demonstrates an abomination. You're outside natural law, that makes you an abomination, Islam. So that's just keeping it 100. So another thing I realized, some of the spiritual visual invasions I experienced, like for instance, I'm not accusing the girl, the best similar invasions that I experienced when I'm at the room, like a Spanish speaking, definitely I could tell a little difference between El Salvador and Mexican, South American. Like for instance, I worked with this girl named Dora. I'm not accusing her. I mean, why would she? But a visual of her similar will appear in a like one time I was dreaming, and I was in a sleep dream, and I saw this visual. I swear it looked just like her, walking in my dreams. All right, walking in my dreams. See, a lot of times the Spanish speaking, I'm not accusing her. I'm just giving you a description. Would say that Moor has a lot of magic in her. That Moor has a lot of magic in her. Okay, so what does that tell you? That lets you know they're trying to get something. All right, and they start yelling 3 and 33, or the black Negro or African American start saying that's us, or the pale skin. Okay, all right. So I would see this Spanish speaking lady, it looked similar to Dora, walking in my dreams and saying I'm trying, or looked like she was trying to go deep and trying to find something in my thoughts to go deep. Okay, as I'm here in the United States, the word military sometimes I'm reminding you around American Independence Day, military. Okay. Also, I hear like accents that's similar. I'm not accusing. Maybe Naomi, she's from Mexico. This is best description, Dwayne Byfield Bay. Outside around the room, or Lorena, just different accents. Because I mean, Burger King, I hear their accents. So this is basically similar. I hear them outside and around the room, just like, and then say I love you. You know, I'm not accused. I don't know why would they be around American Extended Stay saying these things. And so I'm just only can give you a description and give you a similarity. Naomi is from Mexico, and I think Lorena is Puerto Rican. I'm not sure, but this is the best because I listened to their accents at Burger King, so I can give you the best description as possible. And I've also gave documentation of complaints at American Extended Stay. Complaints. I had to. Because those that are outside and around the room are getting a little bit too aggressive. I had to complain. Too aggressive. Literally like an animal. I don't know who they are. As they say in Burger King, military, police, we paid those Moors. You know. Rely on the dirty Moors. Another thing so who else I've seen visual? Oh, similar to Miss Phyllis, Black Negro, or Mr. Thomas. These are similarities description. Attacking. James, Black. These are I'm not calling Miss Phyllis. I think she likes to be referred to as African American. But according to constitutional law, African American, Black, Negro, that's all the same. According to constitutional law, so it's not recognized. In other words, it's not recognized according to constitutional law. You're outside. I think that's what she wanted. She's the manager that I said that I think her husband's in the Navy. I'm not sure. And James is the one that said he was in the Army. So a lot of times I've experienced visuals similar to them attacking. Literally attacking, sending sharp pains, or somebody outside and around the room say money, and your son and money start making noises in his sleep. Now I'm not accused, because once again, why would they do such a thing? It's like, you know, and this is dealing with spirit and my mental and spiritual experiences. I even seen, definitely too many times, CJ, similar to CJ in my dream. That's the owner's son. Or Carl, he's one of the owners. Similar, just attacking, or seeing like a routine of Burger King in my dreams, forcefully done, manipulated, like someone's handing out fries or food, or some form of a fast food description in my dreams. And once again, I'm not accusing. When I give out names, I just only can give you the best description, because Imani Gray-Bey and I, Rhonda Arrington-Bey, as Moorish Americans who have affirmed uphold constitutional law, we don't know anyone personally here in Annapolis, Maryland. We still stay in contact with the same Moors we stayed in contact with when we first came here in June of 2016. We don't know anyone personally here in Annapolis, Maryland. Not one person can say that we have sat down and literally and tried to get to know them, befriend them, or engage with them. So let me continue. Who else did I see that's similar in reference to invading dreams and attacking spiritually? And you know, the United States, and sending sharp pains, the United States rate 35 in health. So physical health is important, because physical health is connected to mental health. If you have a population of citizens who are not healthy, they have to spend money to go to the medical system, to go in a medical system, to go to the hospitals, to go get healthy, right? If they don't know how to do it on their own, right? So if they're being recycled in the medical system, then why? Then the question should be why? Why so many citizens on this landmass being recycled in the medical system? And I always say it's because these unclean spirits are being used to cause sickness. These unnatural abominations, these freaks are being used to spread illnesses, to attack while you're sleeping or while you're awake. Who else I've seen attacking? And in reference to, as in a similarity, a description. I've heard voices similar to, she's a pale-skinned Katie and Mindy. Similar. I consider similar outside and around the room. Similar. Description only. Talking. Sometimes hear them saying police. Who else? And once again, you know, Imani Gray and I, we really try to focus on our health. We don't smoke cigarettes. We don't drink alcohol. We are on the vegan vegetarian diet. And so it's interesting to hear these spirits talking outside and around the room at American Senate Stay, and I'm experiencing sharp pains, forced sharp pains, okay, because I know my organs are healthy, his organs are healthy, and yet on this landmass there's a problem with illegal organ selling, drug trafficking, sex trafficking. Once again, this is going back to hearing them say he F-U-C-K-U. The black Negro male saying military, or he F-U-C-K-U. The Spanish speaking saying he F-U-C-K-U. All right, this is in connection to sex trafficking, drug trafficking. And when you are outside of natural law, you haven't taken an oath or affirmed to uphold constitutional law. What would stop you from doing that? And this is also the pale skin saying it as well. He loves her. Literally sound like an animal. Let me think, because I want to make sure. Literally sounding like an animal because they're animals. They're beasts. They have the telepathic code that they gave to the beasts, and they injected to the fetus of the pregnant women, and some was given to them after they were born. So this, I'm giving you a description of what an abomination is. What an abomination freak that has been written out the book of life is. Let me think here. I can't think of some, because there's been so many visuals. Sometimes black Negro males, too many times I give in testimony, attacking my genitals or trying to have sex. These are unclean spirits. Too many times. So I have to wake up literally, or I might feel my nipples get like sore, and I shine my light, and one of them are forced mental engaging. Also, okay, this is what I wanted to tell you. So when I'm walking Okay, some of these spirits, they say marry her. So when I'm walking and I'm not paying attention, and all of a sudden I just so happen to shine my light, one of these black Negroes are forcefully mental engaging. So what they're trying to do is invade your she, because you're walking. You're a productive citizen, okay? You're a productive citizen. You're walking. You're living your life. You're trying to earn money. You might be going to school, and one of them, they're trying to possess your mind, possess your body. So they'll start forced mental engaging while you're walking, trying to they're invading your she while you're walking and going about your life. And then all of a sudden you might hear spirits or people walking by you that have the code. These are unclean abominations, saying that's her husband. They do it to your son or your little girl or whoever. That she loves your son. He loves your daughter. All right. And if that's not a savage, uncivilized thought process, what is? So what I'm doing is giving a description of what abomination, unnatural, demonic spirits will do in their society, and then try to normalize it. Normalize as though this is something that they should be able to do. Too many times when I walk in American Senate State, my cell phone would go off, make a noise. All right, and people would say that's the machine. That's a machine, so in other words, they know that we are among humanoid abomination freaks that can control technology with their mind, that they are trying to forcefully slave breed in the population. All right, so I'll walk into American Extended State, and all of a sudden my cell phone would go off and make an odd noise. And if they are connecting or tuning to a technological device, they have radiation. They are definitely full of radiation. And that could explain why so many people have cancer or forms of cancer. Humans, that is. Because they're among a human population. So if they are forcefully slave breeding or putting these humanoid robots around human or celestial beings' home to engage, to subjugate, that is what are they trying to do? Implement slavery. So that's my experience today. I'll talk to you later. Dwayne Basco Bay.